there at all, but not in a competitive setting like this. All right.
So hopefully that could be a fantastic ending. Also because it's actually a kind of fun area to fight. And as you see here, west to east straight opens it up from the majority of the games. The guys, Belt and Mar, of course, super accessible through cars.
Navi just on the left of your picture, Doi. That's Mullah Doi. He's heading straight down with his teammates. Divine are all going up to Alcantara.
Yeah. Optic, they're gonna go look up
Cabrera. That's an interesting change. I guess they've adapted to the playing path.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yep. WTSG are out in the middle.
San Martin, as usual, Victory 5. That area of the looting is northwest of San Martin is very sparse loot.
Simpson for Gen G, racked up so many bodies earlier, is surrounded by XQ and the rest of his teammates a little bit further east of him. And Ghost are the last ones out, and they're heading to perhaps take up residency and hope for your end game, Avenger.
Hopefully. We'll see the end game. Obviously, we have a 90-second delay on the showing.
Circle is coming, and the guys who are going to bring it to you will go back with Esquire, and he's joined by Cameron.
Very much Matt Hayes and Avenger. My name is Phil Esquire Stewart, joined here by a new caster to finish out the final 2 games of day number 1, Cameron Davis.
Hey, what is up, everyone? Excited to be here, and it's going to be 2 more games. Should be just as exciting as the previous ones. And one thing that we've seen so far on Miramar that I want to make a point of real quick in the beginning is that there is a lot of adaptation required for this map, and not just in how you play it, but also in the drops. You can already see so many different teams making adjustments, and one of the good things about this map is that it's so large, it's so wide, there are so many spots that you can play around that you don't run the risk of coming into another team like you would on a map like Erangel.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, even losing a bit of attrition, maybe one player gets knocked, maybe one player gets wiped out, and then you have to walk away with 3 players. I mean, it's just not worth it on a map the size of Miramar. So many different towns to drop in, but around the map, we are seeing our players take up whatever compounds, whatever loot locations that kind of catch their eye. We did see Navi, actually. They weren't able to drop straight into the Valle del Mar area, but they were riding along the west coast, probably hoping to fire the western highway, rather. There is no western coast on Miramar, but riding along that highway down towards the south, possibly trying to get back towards that direction where they know and love. Vega, though, going to be looting up around this area as well, just trying to figure out what's going to be good for these guys. I mean, certainly no team has been overwhelmingly consistent on Miramar so far. Cameron, I mean, certainly we saw that we saw that our boys XQuest, I mean, first place in our first 2 games, but then in the 3rd game, they just had a very, very different outcome.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a 14th or something along those lines.
Right.
Drastic turn of events for them compared to the first 2 games. And hopefully the rest of the team should be aware of that. Teams like Optic, teams like Ghost that are having a little bit disappointing of games, especially on the Ghost side of things, from what a lot of fans expected. Miramar, there are so many possibilities in it. Even if your team fails to succeed on 1 or 2, or I guess in this case, 3 different games, hopefully they should have in their minds constantly reminding themselves that they can make it up in the next game. It's not as kind of like consistent. It's very difficult to be consistent on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 days of 5 games each day. It's going to be a whopping 20 games in total. So certainly these guys are going to be able to turn around any performance that wasn't up to par, didn't satisfy their own performance needs, etc. So they're going to have to look at that after today and sort of see what they need to adjust. Certainly Miramar, one of the newer maps, if not the newest competitive map to PUBG, right? These guys haven't had a ton of time, at least not as much time as on Erangel that they've been able to experience and sort of find the different nuances that play in their favor or sort of that they need to avoid to try to get into those top positions.
Exactly. It's not just the size of the map or the variety of map, it's also the experience on the map. Slow early game. Pretty standard right now just because of how wide it is, how easy it is to avoid everyone else. It's all looting right now, Vampire Game. Probably hoping he finds himself a better weapon than that VSS. Some people really like it, but the majority of people don't consider it in the top tier of Arsenal.
Yeah, certainly not. Maybe if we were playing on the newest map, Sanhok, it would be a prime gun for anyone to pick up, but we are not. We are in the desert. Alas here, Cameron. And with this circle up here towards the northeast, certainly there's going to have to be some gravitation from our teams on the western edge of things. Navi is going to have yet again another very far transition to make, similar to what they had to do in game number 1. So these guys, they know the rotation paths out of this area. They're just going to have to pretty much hope and pray that the teams currently riding the southwestern edge of the circle are going to gravitate out of that position.
Yeah, it should be okay for them in the early game. You don't see that many deaths in the early game anyway, but considering that the circle is heavier on the other side of the map from them. I'd be really surprised if any team wanted to camp specifically for them, because sure, there are choke points exiting the city that they're currently looting at. There are too many of them for any team to be like, you know what, let's waste time and hang out here just for the small possibility that we can get a knock or two.
Absolutely. Looking now at Na'Vi down here in the Valley of Demar area, they got a whopping 14 kills in our last game, game number 3, ended up in second place in a 1v3 scenario, but still 14 kills nonetheless in a second place is a beautiful thing to have. Popping over here, though, we're going to be looking at Victory 5, another strong squad throughout today's games so far. But looks like Kimba 7, he already got a beautiful crate earlier in the day, and now he's going to be walking up on this crate. I mean, Kimba, he did something. He prayed to the crate gods. He's got his rabbit's foot, his good luck charms. Something is right.
Got to watch out, though, because Victory 5, they guys remember rolling up, trying to go for that, but it looks like shots from him as well as a teammate off in the distance are more than enough to deter him away from that. He gets a nice Groza for himself. I will say, though, not exactly the weapon that I think he was expecting, or at least hoping for in this early game. The Groza is very powerful late game, but with the long distances, especially with the lack of scope on that, it's not going to be too terribly useful, at least for the first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Groza is such a powerful gun in the late game in the close quarter combat, but
yeah,
right now, tapping, you got no stability in the form of a grip or a buttstock or anything like that, so it's kind of tough to use, at least in the early game, like you mentioned. Cameron popping over here. We got 17 in the compound all by his lonesome. We're going to be hearing Kimba rotating off of this position and just kind of watching, seeing if he can spot anything. But it looks like Kimba's going to be getting out of dodge, able to reunite with his teammates, hopefully, because I don't see them. I see them pretty far out there in the distance. Looks like maybe a squad Ghost Gaming will be cutting off the path that Kimba was hoping to take.
He's interesting decision. Is he just met? Yeah, he's just using his opportunity to met up because he did take a couple of shots while grabbing those weapons and then leaving. So he's going to continue on and probably group up with the rest. Though, that being said, I see on that minimap, looks like they are going to be employing a split. He has a teammate joining him, but not the only team rotating right now. Of course, it's also Tainted Minds. Ooh, juicy. Done. Landed. Perfect.
Done.
10 out of 10.
Calculated.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly what he wanted, exactly what he needed. They're going to find themselves inside the circle with a reasonable compound to go for in the early game as well.
Absolutely. And with the blue zone now pushing in on circle number 1 of game number 4 of the afternoon, the evening, we're going to be seeing these transitions begin to take place. Here comes Welcome to South Georgia's Vard rolling up on the Knights right now. Kramer going to be rolling down in the Murado down the hill away from his teammates. And here comes Texas as well. Vard just soaking up this information, feeding it to his teammates and trying to decide, when do I take the shots, if I take the shots. And now is the time. He spots out Voxic and Drayden all alone, trying to get out of dodge. And Voxic accidentally runs over Drayden, gives Vard exactly what he needs to take him down and out. Just needs to have the connections.
Yeah, he was waiting for the Knights to be split up enough to have less of a chance of getting punished, but he's actually going for more. But he takes a lot of shots off the distance. Looks like teammates is going to be Texas. Did stop and give finally some covering fire. I don't think it's going to be enough for Knights to get a revive on Drayden, but they do at least keep Voxic alive. No. Did he actually get the revive?
No, he did not. Drayden, I believe, is going to be down and out. His player tag is still up there, but yeah.
He's getting revived.
Okay.
He's getting revived. He actually got revived.
He was at like 0%.
Zero.
Almost zero. I mean, just a decimal of HP. Insane.
They're not out of it yet, though. WTSG are coming. They want more, and a nice grenade toss. Oh, I don't know if it's going to reach, though. It hits the other side of the vehicle.
Oh!
But so was Drayden, unfortunately. He's going to drop down once again, and the bleed-out timer is only going to be faster this time. I don't know if Vox is going to have an opportunity now to get the second revive, but Gaxy's taking a lot of shots too. Texas down the hill, still giving covering fire. Vox, though, he's unsure of where the rest of WTSG are and doesn't want to go for the revive until he's certain he can get it safely.
The bank shot nade off of the truck, landing on top of Drayden. He was able to be rezzed off of that first knock, but Voxic is not going to be able to save his teammate this time. Gaxy walks away with the kill. Now he continues to look over, tries to spot out any of the remaining members of Knights. We saw them split up right now, so Voxic, he's got to get out of here. He's got a lot of eyes starting to converge down on his position, and he just has to bomb down this hill as we're seeing him do right now. But Gaxy trying to prevent him from doing so. The car is on fire, will be exploding, and Vard's going to be taking out Voxic.
So close. He was so close to breaking that line of sight, but Gaxy found the perfect angle that he was hidden from Texas, but able to take those shots on that retreating vehicle. So 2 down for the Knights, and they were looking quite good for the first 3 games.
Yeah,
already.
They got snuck up on, but Vard's patience waiting.
Oh, no, now Kramer goes down, too.
Oh, Kramer goes down.
Yeah, that's just, this is not good for Knights.
I mean, but really, it was just Vard's patience waiting for the Knights to split up. Two of the members departed down the hill, and that gave Vard every indication, every opportunity to rain down Hellfire exactly like he did. Popping back over now to Method. Moleman and the crew going to be rolling around, but MVP is trying to make their own transition, drawing a lot of attention, a lot of gunfire from Divine.
Yeah, Divine, they actually, if you remember from the drop point going all the way up to the northwest, they were able to leapfrog in front of MVP, and it looks like they're actually camping their rotation, or at least stopping it, given an opportunity to do so. The blue is coming in. It's not going to deal too much damage if MVP continue to find themselves stuck outside of the current play zone, but it is still a worry for them.
Yeah, JJ Leo very pushed out from the rest of his squad, taking gunfire from not just the south of MVP, but also the western edge where one of MVP's members is currently waiting out on the hills. So JJ Leo in a bit of a tough spot, possibly pushed out a little too far for comfort, but MVP, Alpaca and the crew going to be rotating off of this position. They know that they can't press forward eastern into the circle. The safest bet is just to head down south or north and find a new entry.
Ooh, Bachelin, a nice...
Style points, do we give those, Cameron?
I don't know. I'm going to have to double check with the mods, but it is certainly something to be considered.
That was like a 540 corkscrew. I don't even know what you would call that, but Bachelin, he's going to be opting to go for round 2, I think, trying to get on top of this little mesa and not able to do so, but back around the map. Extreme 2G for Tainted Minds going to be finding Pokemolodoy and taking him down and out, but now Extreme 2G is under fire from another member of Navi. Uba has spotted him out, will be raining down fire with the Mini 14, finds the connection, and now it's just only a matter of time before Extreme 2G gets dropped.
Almost got stolen there at the end, I think, looking at the flares coming in from another angle, but it is a successful trade. Not exactly worth it for Tainted Minds, I have to say.
Yeah, probably not worth it for those guys. I mean, giving up a lot in the process. You know, Cameron, that's one of the things that we like to talk about in PUBG. Every time that you get something, you're giving up something as well, right? And you're giving up your position for the opportunity to get some kills, put out some damage, and sometimes it plays in your favor, sometimes it doesn't, but here is Team 17 going to be trying to evade the shots from Secret. We see Fiend kind of leading this pinpoint position on this compound, just trying to get whatever connections he can, but none to be had, at least none significant other than taking shocks down to about 30% HP, but now he's just trying to get out of dodge in that Murado.
Yeah, trying to drop his teammates off, perhaps trying to employ a split, or Sho just leaving on his lonesome to try and be a flank player. If he can come in clutch in the next fights, once the rest of his teammates, of course, do finally find a spot to stop. But no, rather, he's just going to be running across the field. Don't exactly know what led to that decision. But shots continue to go onto 47 Gamer. He is going to make himself get away, however. Surprised he didn't take more damage than he actually did. But 58 still alive in this game. Victory 5 finding a spot for themselves as well. Divine and MVP, they've been going back and forth. This circle did shift heavily onto their position. In fact, I think the borders are maybe only a couple of meters from touching. So thankfully, MVP didn't have to move too far. Divine neither.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is what we classify as a hard shift when the edges of these circles, the blue zone and the next safe zone, are almost touching like they are right now. And some hard shifts going to have to come out from some of the teams. But really, everyone just kind of in a safe spot already in this circle for the most part.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that safe. I definitely wanted to call this safe for Navi. Uba still driving out in the middle of the field, taking a lot of shots from Gen G up on top of this mountaintop, as well as a couple of shots from other angles as well. But yeah, this is what I was saying, though. Not exactly a safe spot. They are under hard cover, both these teams, but they're so close to each other. It is likely that we're going to see a couple of kills at least. And in fact, looking at Larson and Vard's positioning, they are swinging around the side. They want to find angles to try and surround Secret.
Yeah, absolutely. Hacienda is a very interesting compound, though. I mean, certainly a lot of cover for Secret to hold right now, but Vard and Larson going to be trying to be a huge thorn in the side of Secret right now, trying to get this sneaky flank around the eastern edge of Hacienda, but they are spotted out. Larson going to be taking a lot of damage in the process. Fiend up on the roof, going to be prepping the nade, throws it down. Will it be able to put out the damage that he so desperately wants it to? No, it looks like it bounced off the wall. Won't be able to find that connection, but more and more nades going to be coming out. So much pressure being applied right now by Fiend onto Vard and Larson.
Yeah, now that those two players are spotted out, and actually Vard and Gaxi both get dropped. A counter flank out by Check Shooter. Swinging around the side, Smitty, his teammate, giving him some support as well. Gaxi also got downed in the building across the way, and so this has gone from a good position to a very bad outcome for WTSG. A defensive smoke employed by Larson, but the push is going to be continued by Secret.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this plays into what Secret was doing. They were up on top of the roofs of Hacienda. They saw the flank coming out, and they countered it with their own flank coming off the edge of Hacienda. But now both teams are taking casualties. Damage coming out left and right as Smitty is going to be dropped for Secret. Larson just trying to wrap around, trying to do whatever he can. He knows that Smitty's going to be rezzed right around the corner, but will he be able to get the frag grenade close enough to connect onto Check Shooter? And that is close enough. Check runs away. He hears the clank of the grenade and taking about 60% damage in the process. Will be trying to retreat, but that is Smitty going down and out.
Oh, but immediately traded out by Larson. Fiend still on the roof, hasn't been stopped by WTSG yet. And now I think there's only one member standing, another bleeding out. The pickup is going through the hard cover, giving them the opportunity to do that. But they're not out of it just yet because open fields of Miramar, opposite angle is going to easily get third-partied from, and here comes Method from the south.
Here comes Method from the south. Exactly what Welcome to South George did not want to happen. They are extremely pinched now between two deadly squads as 17 continues to try to make connections, but this time on to Method approaching from the south. So Secret's in a position to sort of whittle down both South George as well as Method coming from this position.
In a way, this is a little bit helpful towards WTSG, depending on how they want to play it, because the pressure of Method coming up does really hurt Secret. I say that until Miraku overpeaks and he gets dropped himself. Method grabbing 2 downs, 1 on each of these 2 respective teams.
Yeah, very difficult position for them to be in. Certainly not what they wanted to happen. It could have gone a different way, but alas, it did not. And our next circle shift is going to be taking us a little bit off northeast from our central point of our previous circle. But a lot of squads are going to have a tough time rotating, specifically MVP down to the southwest. They have to go through Tainted Mines to get into the safe zone.
They avoided Divine. Divine already on their own rotate, but they're going to have to come through another team. Secret right now, they are still inside the circle. Hacienda is still in the safe zone. That kind of is a double-edged sword because it also means that more teams are only going to get closer and closer to them. So they really going to have to backen down the hatches and make sure that they can keep themselves as healthy as possible. Still 3 alive, it's a decent number to have, but they don't want to lose any more than that. Alternatively, Ghost up on the north having a much better early game than we've seen past couple of games. Still 4 alive, a nice compound to hold. Very wide field around them, which gives them a lot of good sightlines to deal damage. However, if later in the game it turns off of them, it's going to be a really bad rotate. Gen G on their own troubling rotate. We already saw one of their teammates die to a car flip, I think it was, or he exploded his own vehicle nonetheless. And now it's going to be Na'Vi taking some shots onto them, trying to go in open field themselves to get inside the center of the circle.
And now Method wants a bit of Gen G right now. They're putting down a hell of a lot of gunfire onto Wicked. He's going to be exploded out of the vehicle, dropped down, and finished off right now. But now Method is drawing more and more attention from these 2 teams directly to their north. Welcome to South George and Secret both going to be putting down some damage.
A little bit of a standoff in the bottom right. You can see between MVP and XG, or XQ, just across the street. A little quiet now once everyone's made their way in. It's kind of seeing who's going to move first. Teams moving closer and closer to each other, but it is still not quite close enough for the super lethal range. That's one of the problems, or not problems, but features of Miramar, is that if you ever want to push out of a building into another one, you are very likely going to get third-partied. So you have to wait till you get really, really close or a really desperate situation for any of these teams to have a full-on push on the other.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. In this area, Cameron, look at what is happening here. We've got XQ, we've got MVP, and then just to the north of them, pushing down south right now is going to be the 4-man strong squad of Divine. So this might be a 4v4v4 situation if these squads continue to gravitate towards one another. Certainly MVP still on the opposite side of the road, but XQ and Divine getting so close together. It looks like JG Leo has been spotted out by AK. The shots coming out will be dropped down to about 40% HP. He is able to seek cover, though, inside of this building for the time being. Going to give him a bit of reprieve as he gets this information out to his teammates.
Yeah, you can see they're not the only ones shooting at them. We saw a couple of shots. I believe it was from Victory 5 up in the northeast. So they're certainly known by other members of the server. These teams here still getting closer and closer. Check extending a little bit. It's a bit ambitious of a play. If he gets picked, the chances of him being... Oh, no, it is a push. Divine, they want to keep pushing in, using the 2 players in the back on the tall building, giving that oversight to allow Leo and Jet to push on in. But is Jet going to be expecting Cobra? Cobra's holding the angle, gets a spray down, can't get the kill. There he does. He does finally finish it off. And so it's a 1-for-1 trade right now. Divine versus X Quest.
Yeah, Cobra's going to be launching some frag grenades in Jet's direction. Bounces a little bit to the left of where Jet's currently bleeding out, so it's not going to have the connection. But Z9 Max continues to try to rain down pressure on top of Divine. Nicky going to be dropped down to about 30% HP. His other teammates just trying to figure out, can we safely pick up our teammate who is currently bleeding out? And I do not think they're going to be able to. Certainly, XQ going to be looking all different angles, trying to spot out these players from Divine.
Leo looking, checking that they're not getting third party from another angle, but also wants to try and find that oh-so-coveted opening pick.
Yeah, it would be so beneficial for them if they are able to do so here. This engagement has not really been favorable for either teams, and with this shift up to the north, so many teams in the south are going to have a hell of a time getting their way up there. Specifically, the teams in Hacienda del Patron that have been fighting for the last 5 minutes or so. But here it comes. XQuest going to be taking an early rotation, trying to get up there, but hearing all of these shots, some of these shots even coming towards them, he's going to be in a world of hurt. The car about to explode right next to his body. He's going to be able to retreat from it, but gets ultimately knocked from the M16 shots of Xiao from Team 17.
The only player of XQuest to leave, he was the scout sent out first and, hey, try and find us something. But that wasn't the case, and thankfully they didn't send anyone after him, though, or else they'd probably suffer the same fate as him. That doesn't mean that the rest of XQuest do have their own path in. They're going to have to fight through Divine, if I had to guess.
Absolutely. Secret now. Fiend actually finding a connection on the Galaxy from Welcome to South George. So these are the teams from the Hacienda area that are trying to rotate up to the north, where this next circle shift has taken us here in game number 4. M19, another team trying to make this rotation off of the eastern edge to the northern side. Going to be finding a nice compound. However, it is not inside the circle. So for right now, they're going to have a bit of safety, but they're going to have to depart this safety to make it into the next circle.
They're just using that building as an opportunity to stop and scout ahead of them. They have some nice sight lines with the rest of that field into the circle, so they can see just what is and is not available. But XQ, there they go. They're going to be pushing in on Divine. Leo taking out very low. Nicky off in the distance on the hill, taking not exactly taking any shots just yet, but it's a lot of pressure nonetheless, and not much cover for him to get to. But he does make it out safely, at least for now. Balak, on the other hand, not going to be, unfortunately, sharing that outcome. The rest of Ghost, though, did make their own way inside. It's only going to be losing Balak, but surrounded by Na'Vi.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this pressure being applied right now from Team 17 onto Shade. Currently, one of the only remaining members from Na'Vi inside of this bit of a compound, if you even want to call it that. It's more like a hay shack, Cameron, but he's going to be just trying to do whatever he can. His other teammates, Uba and Drainus, rolling up on the hill, will be spotted out by Turtle. Turtle with a beautiful SLR connection onto Uba. Now Drainus left with almost nothing to do, and it's such a tough spot with so many different eyes looking at him.
Split's always risky, but Turtle, he knew that he had to do something to stop the surround from Na'Vi of taking out the rest of his teammates, and he was able to get it down in a full finalized kill. Takes a lot of damage, but able to heal up from that. In the meantime, Secret left the main building of Hacienda, and that has recently been overtaken by Method, but they are still not in themselves. They're going to have to choose between fighting Ghost or Secret.
Yeah, absolutely. More and more teams from this area just shifting north with one another. But as that happens, everyone getting closer and closer and closer. The third-party engagement, at least the opportunities for these third-party engagements, just continues to increase every minute that we extend here on Miramar. 22 minutes and 45 seconds into game number 4 of the evening, with all 16 teams still remaining, but 46 players alive. We've seen 18 players dropped out so far, and no teams eliminated, Cameron.
Ooh, got some more players dropped out. Fiend and Check are both at least downed. Only 17 left. And judging by the fact that it's the entire 4 of Method pushing in on him, I'd be surprised if he tried to go for this. He's going to want to look for an exit, but that may not be available. In the meantime, Turtle also takes out another member of Na'Vi. It's going to be Shade.
Yeah, beautiful grenades coming out right there from Turtle, able to find the connection onto Shade. They just have to worry about a few more threats. 17 from Secret, dropped down to just a smidge of HP as he's now pushed by Molman. Molman knew he got the connections. He knows that 17 is going to be trying to get the meds off and not able to do so. Spraying into the smoke, just trying to find the connection. Misses for right now. 17 returning spray fire, and there it is. You know, you guess long enough, you spray enough bullets, and ultimately you're going to find your connection.
That smoke bloomed just in the nick of time, but unfortunately, too little, too late for 17. He lasted perhaps a couple more seconds than any of us were expecting. Method with the revive on the 8C, able to stay 4 alive. Just barely inside the circle, but the next circle is going to shift off of them. Divine, a nice counter nade onto Xiao Du to trade out the drop of Leo. There's still 2 of them alive, and they're still gatekeeping XQ out in the circle.
Yeah, I mean, they have 44 seconds until the blue zone will be pushing them off of this southwestern edge of the previous play zone. They've got to be careful here, but here comes the aggressive push right now from Nikki of Divine. He's going to be crashing that truck right in to this this other vehicle right here, right next to where Xiao Du was knocked out. He's trying to spot out Z9 Max. He's got his own teammate, JJ Leo, bleeding out right in front of him as well.
Yeah, they're not fighting for a spot in the circle, but they really want to clear X-Quest behind them before they push in, but they need to do this fast. 18 seconds left before the circle starts pushing them in, and they're going to have to move through even more teams. Z9 Max, there's not much of them to do right now because they take a lot of damage. Does get the spray below the truck, but finishes the kill just before he's dropped by actually Shandian.
And then XQ was ultimately third-partied on and eliminated. So XQ goes out in, I believe, 13th place. Completely different from what we saw them doing game number 1 and 2. More consistent with what we saw in game number 3. So playing into exactly what you mentioned, Cameron, it's extremely hard to be consistent here on Miramar. And we've not yet seen a team internationally that is able to do that. Hypoc, though, going to be putting out some damage. Spots out Bachelin, gets the knock and the kill. More of the members of M19 are going to be in his sights.
19 having to push in from the north, able just barely to get behind cover, except no! Constant keeps moving outside of it. In the meantime, elsewhere, we got Ghost pushing up, trying to take the hill that they recently stole from Na'Vi, but here comes Method surrounding them. Method still 4 alive, though. Rafi is bleeding out, dropping 2 of Ghost, leaving just Allergen left. He's going to go for the revive, I believe, onto one of his teammates. But this is going to give Method the opportunity to continue to push onto him, and that is going to be the full finish onto Ghost. Looking so strong, but unfortunately going out in 11th place.
Yeah, tough day for Ghost right now, but we know that they're a very good team on Erangel. So tomorrow and the 4th day of this qualifier stage is going to be their real bread and butter. But certainly you want to be performing well in all stages of this tournament. More and more shots, though, continuing to erupt from the southern side of things, Cameron. We knew the South was going to be a point of contention with so many different teams kind of packed into this small area, but it's really erupting into quite a chaotic battle.
Method are doing a lot of work right now. Already with, what, 11 kills, I believe it is, and there's still, well, now in this case, 25 left, make that 24, as TM gets decimated, it seems, by multiple teams. Weren't able to make their way into the circle in time. Genji, it's not going to be great for Chelator. Last one left of his team. Going to have to make his way through the blue, but he is held off by Victory 5. Has to stop to use one more med kit. Can get into the corner, but there's not going to be much of an exit out of there.
No, pressure coming out now from Victory 5, trying to get some nades in that vicinity, trying to push Chelator out of his position, and they're doing just that, taking a lot of damage from the blue zone, but will be returning fire onto Lanrin, one of the members of Victory 5, but gets ultimately sprayed down by LSN and taken out of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that kill is going to finalize for him. That's going to be just enough time to get the revive on that before Victory 5 move into the circle themselves. Speaking of which, only one team inside, and it is no one but Team 17, constantly in the center of the circle, and has been working out wonders for them this game.
Absolutely, it has been. We saw them in game number 1. They had a beautiful, beautiful position inside of the circle for multiple circles towards the late game, but ultimately it was Genji that took them down and out with a very aggressive rush. Hopefully nothing like that happens here. These guys are going to be trying to do whatever they can to prevent that. They know that they've got all the tools, they've got the zone, but can they execute?
Well, that against Genji, that was a 2v4, and now they still have 4. So I'm thinking that they're going to be able to put up an even better fight this time around if that does end up being the case. If they don't tear anyone that comes close to them apart before they can get anywhere near their building, because no one is still inside except perhaps Vega marginally, but he's about to be overrun by MVP.
Yeah, MVP kind of pushing up on that warehouse right now, but here comes Victory 5. Ellison and his teammate going to be making this rotation out. We saw one of these guys get dropped from Genji just a minute or two ago. He was able to be rezzed. They're going to be pushing out of this area, but Levi's from Divine is still behind this car. Going to be spotting out Victory 5. So is Hypoc from Optic, just up to the north a little bit. Going to be spotting out LSN, hiding now behind this tree. So many different eyes on him. It's going to be a very difficult task to get out of that position.
Oh, Method, they were so strong, but they're about to lose their 3rd player. Now just down to 1, just 8Z, and he's still not inside the circle just yet. But here comes MVP. The Blues going to be pushing them in soon. I don't know if they spotted Kippy. We saw Kippy a couple of minutes ago have to retreat from that barn, get inside the bed of that truck. I don't know if they spotted him or not. I don't think they did. And that means that once he stands up, he's going to get a drop onto Siege, but an immediate counter.
part of this terrain of Miramar really playing in favor of Levi's right now. This bit of deflate that he's able to have, these little rolls in the hills that are so true to Miramar, so present in Miramar, going to be providing him with a little bit of safety, but the shots continuing to erupt back and forth between Victory 5 and Optic. But over here, we've got Kippy bleeding out. Siege going to be picking up his teammate Otan from MVP. They just got to be careful right here because a lot of eyes going to be looking that direction, specifically the other member of Vega, Vampire. He's got a VSS, and he's going to be trying to do whatever he can, but it's a tough spot to be in. 80, he spotted out Optic.
Yeah, he was trying to be as still as possible, pretending to be a rock, but Eyes of Optic going to be too good for him, and they're going to go out in 7th place. Kippy does finally get finished off by another nade from Siege, and now it is just Vampire game with trusty old VSS up in the north, hiding out in a bed of truck of his own. Gonna have to cross a wide open road to get inside. Fortunately for him, not many people are watching that angle. Optic have an opportunity to do so, as well as MVP, because MVP are going to be searching up that hill to take their own spot inside the next circle. But if he stays quiet, though, he may not call any attention onto himself. He may be able to cross over, and that's going to be his plan. He's going to try and avoid as many fights as possible. Optic, though, they want none of that. They want to kill as many people as possible. Still 3 alive, making themselves a car fort, a nice little V formation, V for victory.
V for victory, V for the duck formation, because ducks fly together, Cameron. But I mean, yeah, like you were talking about, solo players are able to more often than not pull out maybe a top 2 or 3 placement just from snaking in and not being a presence that is easily seen. Having 4 members rolling around, you stand out a lot more than just a solo player snaking around rocks trying to crawl through the hills. But we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. 6 teams remaining, 14 players alive as Optic 3 up, still in a dominant position with 7 kills, trying to do whatever they can to get this information. But the real story is going to be Team 17, who has been inside of the central point of this circle time after time. They've been shifted out just a little bit, and they do have a force pushing up on their back. They got to be careful because MVP is a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. 47 gets taken out, and that nade, just too far. I think it dealt a little bit of chip damage to him. And I think this next one may be more than enough to finish. Oh, no, didn't go far still. But either way, he's going to be bleeding out. Don't know if QMCC is going to get to him in time. Optic also dropped because MVP, they're pushing up. They're taking fights with anyone and everyone who will come and face them. Valley trying to hold that, giving Bahawaka the space he needs to crawl back into safety before the revive comes through. Luckily, though, MVP are distracted enough by 17 to give Optic a little bit of breathing room, but 47 Gamer does finally get finished off.
Ooh. And that's going to be the SKS from Alpaca, going to be finding his connection onto one of the members of Team 17, but Xiao comes up huge, gets the knock and the kill on to Alpaca. However, Shox gets immediately traded out. Shu, though, finds another member of this team MVP. Siege going to be dropped. Pain G going to be dropped as well. Absolutely insane. We've seen Xiao time after time today just come up clutch for his team.
0-10 luckily is going to be there for the revive on his teammate on Depang. And then this is good for Optic, though, because this gives Optic the opportunity to push forward. And now that they have the man advantage, they can try and take these fights for themselves. Victory 5 finally finished off by the blue this time, but QMCC also dropped down. The bleed out timer did run through and is just Shu left. I'm certain he hears Optic surrounding him, and he's trying to not move, but MVP are aware of his general location. And so it's going to be rough for him. He wants Optic to take a fight with MVP for MVP to get distracted.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the last few minutes go, Cameron, Optic has taken the least in terms of damage, attrition, whatever.
Yeah.
They have not lost a lot of armor compared to what Xiao from 17 has had to go up against. And Bahawak is going to be spotting out the remaining member of Team 17, Xiao, with the M416 taking him down and out. 2 teams remaining, 5 players alive, 33 minutes here into Game 4.
Smokes come through from MVP for them to push themselves into the circle, but Optic, they are center circle, and they have huge control on the top of this hill. A spread out by Pang and 0-10. It's going to give them crossfire potential. But 0-10, he's not finding the connections needed just yet. Pang is pushing close, however.
Yeah, trying to wrap around this southern side of this hill that Optic is currently holding out on, trying to get spots onto the head. Spots out Valiate. Will be scoping in on him right now. It's going to be Pain G, the player that was previously knocked by Optic, just trying to recover off of this. A 2v3 scenario. It honestly could go either way, Cameron. Certainly, this type of numbers advantage from Optic isn't huge.
Ooh, look at this nade from Valiate, though. It may be dead on Pang. It's going to push past him. I don't think it's going to do much damage. 0-10 takes maybe 1 HP of health.
And both nades going to be missing their connection, one from PUBG and one also from Valley. But now Bahawaka and Hetro are in a position to flank around and take down O10 as well as PUBG if they just do it. But they're going to be holding on this rock, not giving up anything.
They're inside the circle. Optic aren't over pushing this because they're aware that they have the advantage, but just barely, just slightly. They want to force MVP into them. Hetro jump on top of the rocks. He can't find an angle. He takes some damage, but does drop PUBG. It's just 0-10 left. He's going to go for the revive, but he doesn't want to go on the aggressive because Optic going to be pushing onto him. You can see Bahawaka swinging around the side over 0-10, trying to go for the revive, but perfect timing, and Optic win game number 4.
Beautiful job by the boys from Optic. If you're in chat, spam that green wall. They have taken down yet another game and are going to be sitting pretty with what they were able to achieve here in game number 4.
Absolutely. Looking for the first 2 games, you'd be a little nervous for them. It wasn't awful for them, to be fair. It was 2 8th places, I believe, in a row. But we've seen Optic be a team that get into their own heads, and they've been able to climb out of it, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 teams, only 2 teams have been able to secure first places on the day so far, both Optic as well as our boys from XQuest. But we have one more game to round out day 1 of the StarSeries I-League Season 2 event, Cameron, and I'm going to be very excited to see who's going to be taking home the end of the day chicken dinner.
Yeah. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that we've seen, like, if Optic or, I guess, XQuest do win game number 5, it won't be the first time that we've seen a huge run, or in the first couple of days of Star Ladder. Liquid, definitely. I think they still hold the record for most consecutive wins on land, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that, absolutely.
But, I mean, this is a good start for anyone to challenge this at Star Ladder.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. They're coming out of the gate swinging, and if anything, as long as they make it into the final stages, the 8 teams that aren't here right now in the finals that are going to be watching to see how these teams progress, they're going to be a little bit worried about XQuest as well as Optic.